This is the GDX Grapple by GrabTec, the most innovative grapple on the market today. So as you can see by looking at this GDX grapple, it's not your normal grapple. I mean, a huge opening, 74 inches from tip to tip. What this means is you're gonna be able to grab bigger piles and be able to crush that material in. You're gonna be able to grab the biggest loads you can with that grapple. As you can see, the grapples here are independent. They've got 3 tines on each. This grapple is offered in 66, 72, and 84 inch widths. The 66 being in a single grapple combination and the 72 and 84 in dual grapple combination. Another unique feature you'll see of this grapple is that you can see these cylinders are covered on 3 sides. So they have the ultimate protection all the way through from top to bottom. You've got 6 tines here on this 84 inch grapple, as you can see. And then you've got a section here in the center that's easy for you to step in and out of, and also allows you to get more debris here in the center of the grapple. So these grapple bucket tines here are 1/2 inch, and they're made from grade 100 steel. That's the steel that's very strong, able to hold up to these abusive forces you're going to put this grapple through. You also notice that there's a 3/4 by 6 cutting edge that's welded all the way through and tied into each individual tine, along with a piece of solid bar stock in the back here. So it goes all the way through the teeth and ties this thing all nicely together. On the back side here, you've got 3 by 3 1/4 inch wall square tubing that ties the top and the bottom. And again, it's all the way through. You can see this entire bucket is all tied together really nicely. So it's going to stand up to the abuse you can put it through. So we're going to go through the grapple tops here. So we've got these independent grapples in this 84 inch model. So what you have is you got a built-in cutting edge that's holding each of these tines together. And then also here you've got a laminated tip. These are T1, again, same grade 100 steel, same strength as the bottom of the bucket here to hold up, again, to these forces. As these things are out here far away from the pivot point, they take a lot of abuse in that side-to-side load when they're getting stretched and pulled, and when you're trying to pull and grab material into the bucket. As you can see, the entire thing too is also reinforced with round tubing all the way down to the pivot points. And we'll cover some of those unique features here later as far as what makes this grapple the biggest, baddest thing on the market. So another feature of this grapple is that it has greaseless pivot pins. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, that means no maintenance. Well, so I got one of them here in my hand. What you can see here is that it actually has a composite bearing on it that has, we warranty this for 3 years, 5,000 hours. That's how much faith we have in this design, how much it's been tested. So what it is it's actually the same cylinder rod that we use in our custom built cylinders we manufacture ourselves. And what we do is it's actually double chromed, and then you've got this ceramic wear bearing in the center here, and then on the outside you've got the dust sleeves to keep all the dust and debris out. Now that's used in each one of the pivot points on the cylinders and all the pivot points. I mean, this 1.25 inch rod is what we use in this pivot pin. I mean, it's just, we've got, I mean, a ton of machines, they got 5,000 hours on them, that these are still going strong. And that's where it comes with it, that warranty to back you up. But that means no maintenance. Again, to hold up to the forces this 4-inch cylinder puts on it. You're not gonna find another skid steer grapple that has a 4-inch cylinder with this type of gripping force, due to, again, to the geometry of the opening. So I wanna talk about the patented iClaw technology we have here as far as this grapple. I mean, so it's got this 4-inch cylinder. And unlike most grapples, it's not going to come straight down. You can see it's got these double pivots built in. So as this comes down, it's going to come down in a circular motion, pulling debris in rather than just coming straight down. Typical grapple is going to come straight down. These ones come all the way out with the 74-inch opening. They come all the way out and scooping and pulling material. So it's actually going to pull material into the bucket, which that means, what that means for you is going to be, you're going to be able to carry more items in the grapple, more debris, more concrete, more brush, more of anything in there, bales, things like that, that you won't be able to do with a traditional grapple. And so what that means is less trips, less time in the cab, you know, less hours in the workers, better ROI. That's what makes this thing such a unique grapple, in the fact of, I mean, I can literally stand inside of this thing. I mean, that's huge. I mean, you're looking at something that's roughly 20 to 25 inches bigger than any other grapple in the market as far as the opening. So now we're gonna look at the back of this GrabTec GDX. So here you can see how this is really reinforced here down at the top of the plate, and how, you know, with those prying forces, those new machines in the market, 135 horsepower, you know, this thing's gonna hold up to anything you can throw at it. You can see how nice and neat it is back here on the hydraulics, how we've used solid lines coming through here, and we've hard lined it so it's nice and clean. You know, we've got these Homebury couplers here that swivel away, you know, to keep that as you're tilting forward this grapple. That's going to allow you here to keep the hoses, nice sheathing running all the way through. You've got this 4-inch cylinder which provides over 10,000 pounds of gripping force. You're not going to find a bigger cylinder on a skid steer grapple anywhere. Most of them are 3-inch at best, some of them even 2. So that again provides all that force for having this big giant grapple, and again, more ROI, less time in the cab. And what's unique is we build our own cylinders in-house. So we build these, and what we use is buttress threads. They're actually twice as strong as a normal thread, and what that allows again is the longevity of the cylinder, knowing it's going to hold up to these forces. These grapples are bouncing around, and when you're pushing and you're pulling on all these debris, there's a lot of shear force that's coming here that's pulling it side to side. Again, with those greaseless 1.25 inch, double chrome pivot pins, I mean, this just the whole package put together here, you can just see how well built this grapple is. And I mean, it's the best grapple on the market, period. All right, so our first big load, we got pretty much a bunch of solid 10-inch logs in here. Looks like the grapple closed about 3/4 away. This is something you'd never be able to do with a normal grapple. There's no way. I mean, it's just the sheer size of what you're able to grab with this and how much is just crazy. So as far as moving big cedars, piles of concrete, things like that, I mean, there's no way you'd be able to do this with a normal grapple. And I mean, I wish right now I had a bigger machine. And this is getting a little tippy here, but. All right, so that's our first big load. We dumped at that. Now let's see what else we can do. I want to see how good this thing back rakes once. So they got the claws all the way open. Be able to back drag nicely with this, roll these logs up. This is nice for cleaning right up next to trees if you got some debris out there that's up against a building, something like that. Able to nicely grab it, put it back in the grapple. Just plenty of space, lots of different features here able to pop out and use. Let's try this for a little back drag in here too and see what that does with the cutting edge. Able to smooth out the ground nicely. Let's dig with it a bit now. Just glides right across the ground. We're scraping all the debris, going to the pile. Put everything up nice and big. Let's try another big grab here and see what it does with it. Now you can see too how the independent cylinders function. So right here you can see one grapple all the way closed, gripping all the material, right? I made a little bit hanging off the edge here, but you can see that, I mean, I just can't believe how much this thing holds and the gripping strength. I mean, this one log's just hanging off the side here. So, all right, we'll see if we can't dump this back down here without tipping over. And it's nice because it even trapped the debris in the bottom here. We got some grass and some other garbage here in these piles that we're using. So let's go see if we can take one more big bite out of this pile here once. Let's see how big of a grab we can get with a bunch of different coming in from the side ones. Machines. So I just roll it over almost like a hand. I mean, right here you can see again the amount of debris we're able to grapple. This one log's got to be, I don't know, probably 20 inches, and probably close to 12 feet long, and this thing's holding it in there just perfectly. I mean, if I was moving construction debris or any type of, you know, land clearing some cedars, things like that, brush piles, I mean, this would make it definitely a quick job of that.